The entire world is mourning over the death of Queen Elizabeth on the afternoon of September 8, 2022. Many thought that the Operation London Bridge will commence following the Queen's demise, but since the Queen has died in Scotland, another plan will be implemented and it is known as the Operation Unicorn. After the Queen has died, the Queen's Secretary immediately informed the UK Prime Minister Liz Truss and the Queen's formal council. Flags in public places and in the Buckingham Palace will then be raised on half-mast. Prince Charles ascends to the throne as King Charles III and will first pay respects to his mother. The Queen is then expected to have the Prime Minister as his first audience as soon as possible. The King will then meet the Earl Marshal, who is in charge of the Queen's funeral arrangements, to approve final plans for her funeral. Plans for the next 10 days will be carefully planned and programmed. King Charles will decide on the length of court mourning for the members of the royal family and the entire royal household. The government will also decide the length of national mourning, which would be about 12 days. As the day of the Queen's passing marks a very sad day for the whole United Kingdom, it is expected that the government will consider this a national holiday. 2-minute silence is expected during public gatherings and shows will also be cancelled for the day. It is expected that thousands will arrive in Scotland to mourn and pay their respects. It is also expected that thousands will congregate in Edinburgh, at St. Giles Cathedral and the Scottish Parliament. Members of the military and even sportsmen and women will wear black armbands on the left arm as a sign of mourning for the lost Queen. Gun salutes will be done in Hyde Park and other stations, and for each year of the Queen's life, 1 round will be fired. Bells will be ringing at Westminster's Abbey and St. Paul's Cathedral and Windsor Castle. The King is then expected to have a televised address to the nation where he will pay a tribute to his mother. Books of condolences will be opened at royal residences and across British embassies, and the public is expected to leave flowers, offerings, and prayers at the gates of the Buckingham Palace and other royal residences. As the Queen has died in Balmoral, Parliament will be immediately suspended to make way for state funeral preparations. News channels like BBC One and BBC Two are expected to dedicate their news to tributes to the Queen's passing. The Queen's state funeral will be held at Westminster Abbey and will be held about 10 days after her death. The Queen's coffin will be taken in a procession to St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle on the same day of the funeral. The Queen will then have her final resting place in the King George VI Memorial Chapel. Philip's coffin will then be moved from the Royal Vault to the Memorial Chapel to join the Queen at her final resting place.